What's up, fellow founders, entrepreneurs, and everyone out there? Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about getting a job in an early stage tech company, in an early stage startup, kind of things you should be expecting, the kind of things that you should be preparing, the kind of networking you should be doing. Just to give you a little bit of a reminder, I started my career in finance and have been an entrepreneur in the past 5 to 10 years, having built and sold SaaS companies as well as hardware companies. So looking for a job in an early stage tech company. So there's a couple of things that I would really be thinking about if I was to go out on a job search, and a couple of pointers and advice, I guess, I would like to give you. The first thing is to look at maybe what industry you're passionate about, what part of tech you think you could add value to. Think about yourself, of course, the division. If it's tech, you want to focus on the technology part. If it's sales, you want to focus on the business development, potentially the account manager type roles. If it's on the marketing side, you want to be focused on the content creation side of things, or the digital marketing element of it. If it's on the investor side or on the financial side, you should be focusing on that side of things. But one thing I like to do is focus as well on what sector. So if you enjoy a startup, for example, in marketing, you may want to work for an email marketing startup. It may give you a little bit more motivation. If it's an AI, for example, startup, you pretty much should be passionate about that area. And the interviewees, as well as the managers who will be hiring you, would love to see some kind of dedication and interest in the space, especially when they're going to be hiring you for a longer period. The second thing is thinking about the salary. The salary is, of course, very variable, especially in early stage companies, because it's usually combined with some kind of stock options, some kind of shares that are allocated to you. An early stage company likes to incentivize early employees by giving a percentage of that company, and that's usually done with stock options that are usually vested over 4 years. That means 1 year cliff, where if you leave within that 1 year, you're not going to get anything or any part or any options of that company. But then if you stay in for the next 3 years, you'll get a certain percentage every single year, which will be vested and given to you. These are the general terms, if there is any equity that is offered in a startup. However, the salary is very variable for different types of roles. Of course, the bigger tech companies seem to offer a lot more higher salaried positions than the early stage or earlier funded companies. But don't forget, these are roles that are you're expected to work very hard for these roles, potentially even as hard as the people working in investment banking, funnily enough, and I have experience in both. And the reason is founders want to get these companies off the ground and moving very fast. And so they'll expect you to work day and night in order to achieve their goals of getting the company acquired, getting an exit, getting to IPO, whatever it is. So they'll expect you to work extremely fast, and don't underestimate the amount of work there will be when you're trying to or start working at an early stage tech company. So these are all great pointers. I tell anyone I advise to look at the sector that they're passionate about. It will definitely help you to be working in a startup if you're passionate about that specific sector. Of course, that goes without saying. So it's something that that you should think about. And of course, network, go to events, go to career fairs. That will definitely help you to reach your goals of actually getting hired. The interview process, generally speaking, is a couple of rounds as usual. Potentially there's a case study in there as well. I hear some big billion-dollar fintech companies offering case studies in which they like to see you perform, analyze those case studies, and react to them, just like any consultancy, any large-scale consultancy like McKinsey, like BCG would be doing to any of their candidates. So relationships, of course, are important. So if you're looking straight out of university, or you're jumping jobs, going to a career fair where you're able to directly meet the company face to face. Potentially, if it's early stage, you can meet the founder directly at the career fair. Otherwise, you can meet human resources there and have a discussion with them directly about the particular space and role you're interested in and why, and potentially get an interview like that. Most tech companies, I guess, some of the hiring is done online rather than in person. Potentially at a later stage, you'll actually come into the office. The bigger tech companies have different hiring policies, I guess, to the earlier stage ones. They're much more experienced. They have a certain process when it comes to hiring. So HR will get involved, then the managers, then the senior manager, etc. Whereas the early stage companies are more flexible. You may get to meet the founder straight away. Which one do I like to work for best? For example, if I had a recommendation, I'd definitely go for the more well-funded billion-dollar high tech companies rather than the small 1 or 2 man band startups. I think because you're more secure in terms of funding, they're well-funded, well capitalized companies, and so you'll be keeping your job for a long time rather than a short term, where it's an early stage company, of course, that's just done a Series A or raised about $1 million or something like that, could run out of cash, may not be able to fund their operations, and may have to get rid of you at the end of the day. And so this could be a bit of an issue. And so I always advise people to go and work for larger companies rather than smaller ones. However, if you're really passionate, if you really believe that that startup is going to take off and they've given you solid share option package, potentially that's the right thing to do. And you're starting off at a lower salary, and that company could get an exit or get acquired, and you could do very well. However, don't underestimate the fact that most startups do die, 99% of them. So finding the one that's going to turn into $1 billion company is going to be very, very difficult. So I hope this gives you some idea about hiring. I've hired for my tech startup in the past, and I know what it takes. And so the point of this video is really to pass some information down to you guys about what you should be thinking about and how you should be going about it. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Do shoot over some comments below about what and where you're applying and how you're going about the process. We'd love to hear, and potentially do another video about your thoughts. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.